Okay, so hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from whenever or wherever you're calling in from or watching this recording from. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I've seen the market has moved so much and slept me behind, but it's all good. I will catch up with where it is right now. I see you guys have really been making some good improvements in the your chat and on the platform. Is really good to know. It's really good to see as well. So as I just mentioned earlier, I've lost all my charts. I've lost everything. That's the one mistake I made. I forgot to back up my charts using the template format. So right now I'd have to draw them back again. I hope I can remember everything. uh, you know but yeah, let's just see. I looked at it a little bit, but I haven't really maxed them up, so I'm going to do that now from the beginning of how I start to mark up, including the changing the what's it called, changing the backgrounds and everything for the benefit of people that may not know how to do that. I'm going to do that today as well, and then do support and resistance and how I look at it and what we'll be looking at in the markets for each and every one of us. But first of all, let's just look at what the news is having for this week. Can see all the way from Sunday down to Friday, we have high impact news releases this week. But on Sunday, I think the also one will be Chinese yen news, so it may not really be relevant to what we trade. But from Monday, you see we see major news, CAD, NZD, and AUD, and all the way to Friday, there are rate news as well. A few speech here and there. So except for Wednesday might be a bit quiet, but you know how this market is. Sometimes it may not, it may seem quiet like this, but and give major moves in the market. So just be on the lookout. And again, remember why we trade, why we look at news. We look at news just to be able to help us to manage our trade. We don't. Some of us don't necessarily trade the news. We just look at the news to see how the market is going to move and how we're going to leverage that volatility. The liquidity that will be involved just to be able to trade effectively. And some people may decide to close off their trades just before the news. That's also advisable for some people that are not able to stand to stand the volatility that would happen in the market. And I always say ensure that you move your stop loss into profit to protect your trade if you're in profit, and if you're not in profit, ensure that you have your stop loss in place just to protect your account. Number one thing as a trader that you must always remember is protect your equity, protect your capital. Never allow your put yourself out of the trade, for whatever reason. Ensure that you protect your capital. You need that to be able to last in the market. Yep. So that's so just go into the charts again, my Forex Factory. Look at the charts, look at what is happening, what news releases are there for different pairs, and see what you can do with them for the week coming. So straight up, just going straight into the charts for what we have for this week. I'm going to start out marking them like I said. So how do I start? Like, this is a blank chart, nothing on this at all. So the first thing I do is to right click this, go to my properties. I like my background to be gray, to have a gray background. Is that no, that's a dim gray. Let me see. That's a gray background. Then I like to have yep, my foreground to be black. That's my foreground. This one's here. Then the grid would be gray as well, but maybe let me see, 136. Is it 136 or 130, 126? Okay, I think that, yeah, I like that, to have that those coordinates, I should say, so that I can, they will still be what's it called now? They will still be backgrounds, grid lines, but they won't be very visible as the one earlier was. And then I like my candles to be red and black. So I mean red and green. So that's already in place. Let me see. Volumes, I like them to be greens as well. So let me see. I can use this green, lime. Let me use lime for both of them. They ask and the X line and volumes. Let me use Lime. Okay, so that means, for instance, if I okay, this if I sets a what's it called now, a trade in, what I should be seeing should be green lines. Should be a green line. My price should just be a green line. My stop loss be a red line. So that's what this is about. So after I've done this, I would let me see, let me draw this. Okay, this one would be I like to have this as white or black sometimes, so possibly change this to black. Nope, black. And most times I don't like it as a ray, so I just take out this ray. Sometimes for some people would struggle with this. Once you try to draw it, if you're just opening this for the first time and you try to draw and you find out it's taking you to into the future or something, so just come to parameters and take out this ray. That should bring it back to, you know, yep. So you can use that as you please. Then the next one would be my lines. I like this to be black as well, you know, just to just the way I like it. Some people can decide to have that in red, yellow, whatever color they like. Okay, so that's for me. That's what my chart is. So the next thing I want to do is save that. Come to save template and then put it under. Used to call it Mike Gray. Yeah, call it that. So that every time I pick this up, I can always find it there, Mike Gray. So if I come to ANZD, I wouldn't need to do that again from the beginning. I just need to come here and click Mike Gray and everything shows on there for me. Yep, simple as that. Same thing, come here, click that, just select my gray and my chart would automatically reflect that information. Okay, so straight up, let me start marking. Again, you know how I begin. I go straight to the monthly just to look at the very big picture of what this chart is doing. Where is it going in the market? Now, as you can see this, you might want to say that this is on a downtrend. You know, so I could decide to capture this, although I don't really need all of this because that's really too far away from where the market is right now. So I don't need all of that. So you can't say that if this continues to the right, decides to trade effect, I mean, do what it's supposed to do, this is what you should be expecting. For some of us that trade patterns, but don't worry, I'm going too far, faster than myself. So I just want to show something. You might say that this is what is to be expected. That is a bear flag. At the end of the day, this is what you should be expecting in the market. So basically, this is eventually going to drop, keep dropping um, to the ground floor. But at the moment, that is not what is happening. You see, there's price came back into it and bounced again. So for some people that traded this with me, you will see that we were buying this, trying to buy it back to the top. But that's not what I want to do right now. Let me just start marking the way I want to mark. Then we can look at what the chart is going to do. So first of all, identify the highest point of the chart and identify where the price is at, and identify the lowest point of the chart where price is at. So this, I can say this is where price is at the moment. You know, this is an area as well, but it's not really relevant to me. So, but I could decide to call it an area instead of a line. No, I don't like that color. You know, my color would be, where is it? That one? I hope it is. No, that's not it. Let me look for it. I think that's it. Teal. Okay. So this will be a zone. What is that telling me? That is telling me every time price comes into it, every time price comes into this zone, I should be looking to buy the market. And guys, remember how I trade the market. I trade the highest points and the lowest points. Those are high probability areas for me to trade. I don't try to trade a market in the middle. I try to avoid taking a trade in the middle of a movement. You don't catch a falling knife. If you just have to allow the knife to come down to the floor before you can pick it up. That's how you trade. Try always avoid entering the trade in the middle. Maybe you see a trade running up, the market happens, you just picked up or open up a chart and you see your trade going up. Don't jump into the market because you don't know where it's going to. Allow it to rest. Where is it getting going to? Jump to the higher time frame to see where price is at generally. Then that will give you a good picture to know when to be able to enter the market. A lot of times why people miss it in this trade is because they always want to, run in with that momentum. They want to jump into that train. See a moving train, just let it go, get to the junction before jumping in. Don't just jump in because you risk, falling off. You don't want to do that. So if I see a market moving like this, I wouldn't want to jump in. I'll just let it go and then let it get to its junction or wherever I know it's going to get to. And the junction could be a support, it could be a resistance. So that's why we create these lines. So I've created this one to be the base of the market. So it means I have a trade. I could decide now to put a buy limit at this level or a buy limit at this level, so that when price comes back into it, I have a greater chance of winning the market if I decide to buy at this point. Yep. But that aside, I'm not doing a teaching tonight. What I just want to do is just to mark up the chart so you can see how I do it. So I've identified the low point of the chart. So I now identify other areas where I see in the market that are possible support and resistance line. That's the support line that I've identified. I can pick up another one here. If you guys can see that with me, it stands out as well. This is a high point. It stands out as well. Yep. If I can decide to pick this one as well. Why am I picking that? I can see price came into it, drop. It came back into it, reacted, came back into it, reacted. You see? So that's another level that I can pick. Sometimes because I'm on the monthly, if I was on the monthly, I wouldn't really need to pick this. Why? Because it's too close to this one. But if I drop down to maybe the daily or H4, you see that the levels will be wide apart. So the next level I would want to pick would be this level. Why? Because that is where price got to before you notice the reaction. If you agree with me, price got to this level before a reaction happened. So that's one place I would start looking for. Now, what is that telling me? If I decide to buy, if this market comes down here, let's say for instance it comes down to this level and I decide to buy, where would be my first take profit? It will be at that level. I won't go beyond that before securing the bag, because I know that price would definitely have a reaction at this level before pushing up. Remember what, like I said, this class today is just for people that are a bit advanced, that you've already known what to do. But I'm going to take time to teach some of us that have just joined us so that we can really see how we trade this market. So this is just to identify the levels. So after doing that, after seeing the high levels on the monthly, the key levels in the monthly, I can drop down to my weekly now to see, okay, what else? As if I drop down to my weekly, you can still notice the levels are still there. Let me just bring this closer so as to touch the top of that week. So you can already see that the levels are still there. Some of these levels are still there. So another thing that coming down to your smaller time frame can do is that it helps you to be able to see it more clearly as well. Now I can move this closer to see to capture that level, because on the high time frame I may not see it like that. I will see the top picture, but if I bring it down to the smaller time frame, I will see where the lines will not cross and then move it to cross. Okay, that's that. Come down again. What am I missing? Nothing else. Right now, I need to see my trade now, because what I can see now, what this is doing, this can come all the way back to this point before moving up, or it can cross this from here, retest that level, and then continue to the upside. You already know how we trade this. Continue to the upside. And one other thing that somebody may notice right now is that bearish engulfing candle. And you know what happens when we trade bearish engulfing candle at a key level. price would do that for pullback into structure, possibly pull back like that. After giving you a bearish engulfing candle, pull back to the middle before continuing to the downside. For some of us that trade that strategy, which is what my strategy is really based on. Yep. So, but that's what it's seeming like in AUD and ZD. But again, when the market opens, we can clearly see what we can trade. But generally, if you remember, guys, I know I was talking about this chart that I was expecting this price to come all the way down and then push to the upside. So, but right now, this is where we're at. We picked it. I thought this was going to come all the way to this level before continuing to the downside, but it didn't happen. And then price continued pushing up. So now you might see these as a pullback. That's one thing as well. Another case scenario. So if you drop down to your smaller time frame here, take this out, you might see this as a pullback. Yep. So meaning price does that impulse leg. Remember flag. Remember flag. Price does that. And then what do we see eventually? Price will push out of here, possibly touch here, maybe give you a double top before coming to the downside, or push to the upside so that it can give you that move to continue. Yep. But all of this is just case scenarios of what price may do. Right now, price is in the middle. You don't, like I said, this is what I talked about not catching a falling knife. Let it play out. Right now, you don't have a trade at this point. You can put this as your trade analysis, what you want to trade. Then you wait for price to break out. So your own trade may be to wait for price to break out of this level here. This may be your trade. Wait for price to break out of here. So when price breaks out of here, this is where you start looking for your trade. If it comes into that level, this is where your trade will come from, because right now there's nothing for you to trade. It's in the middle of a trade. So look at where it got to before pulling back. So that may be your trade. Your own trade may decide to be from here. So it means you have to wait all of this move to happen. Yep. So you need to wait, sit on your hands and let all of this happen. Then you start looking for your trade at this level, breakout, retest, and then you sell. You buy. And you'll first see if it will be at this level, maybe at this level, or maybe at this level. But it will definitely push to the upside. So for me, I'm still expecting AUD and ZD to keep pushing to the upside. From a few months ago's analysis that I had. I wish I have them here just to show you what I'm talking about, but no, I don't have it, but we're just going to play with what we have right now. So this is what we have for this week for me, AUD and ZD. Again, this chart call was to show you how I analyze, where I start trading. So I picked it up all the way from the top to the bottom just to see that, and then I can drop down to my smaller time frame and then start looking for trade opportunities. I can see a flag here, so I won't take a trade at this level, because for all I care, this can continue, just reject that level and then continue to the downside. So this doesn't give me a high probability trade. Where I have a higher probability trade will be at this level, guys. My high probability trade will come at this level. This is where I'll be looking for a good level to trade. Why? Because this is the highest point price got to. So if it comes back to break that level, then it gives me a bit of assurance to be able to take it. So your trade is at this level. That's for me. That's me being very conservative, a conservative trader. But for an aggressive trader, you might want to look for a trade on the break of this level. So let price break out of that, test that, and then you can take it. But you may need to look for your TP here. And if it breaks that, then you can start looking for another trade at that level. So that's just that one for AUD and ZD. Again, on the charts, I'm going to send my analysis over and over again. As the market plays out, I'm going to keep sending the chart so that we can also can also see what I'm doing as well. See how it plays out. Expect this to go away. Okay, so I'm looking at the next one right now, Euro NZD. Same thing, same thing, same thing. Monthly, monthly, and then pick up chart from the top. I don't need this one at this moment because it's still very far away. Price needs to push, so high to be able to get to that level. Where I will start looking for my analysis would be here, possibly here. It's quite close, but it's okay. That's as well, and maybe here, because again, when I drop to my smaller time frame, I would see those gaps more clearly. You see why I picked those lines? They were so obvious, very obvious, very obvious, very obvious, very obvious, very obvious. So drop down to your smaller time frame. You can see where price is at. You can even see some more levels that you want to identify. Maybe here, mm, possibly here, and possibly here as well. You know why? Because this is where price is at the moment. Drop down to your daily to see what you have. So this is what you have to work with right now. Now, what you're expecting right now is for price. Let me see. This is where we're at. Possibility of price giving you that double top is quite high as well. So you might be expecting something like this to play out. So that we've seen that move, we've seen that drop. I know for some people see that as an M. Some see that as a double top. Double top doesn't mean that it needs to touch the right top needs to be in sync with the left top. Not necessarily. If you read that naked forex book I told you guys about, you see that sometimes this can touch that. It needs to wick, but for it to be a valid double top, this right top should not close above it. The candle should not close above it. It's just the wick. The wick can do that, can spike up, but yet as long as the candle is below it or is in line with it, then it's still a valid double top. So right now we're still okay. That could be a double top, can still be a double top. All right, so that is possible, but your trade, if that is a valid double top, is at this level, guys. Your trade is at this level. So meaning you're going to have to wait for this to come down, retest, and then you can see your trade. This is where you enter the market at, if this is a valid double top. You see that? So that is your trade. But if that is not the case, this is your trade right here. If the trade decides to go up, your trade is at this level. This level right here is your trade. That's the break and retest of that level price got to before that reaction. So this is where you start buying the market. Remember, never buy at this level. Never buy at this level. You buy at key levels, levels that price got to and reacted. If price gets back into it and breaks it, that is where you buy from or sell from. Like for instance, if price breaks this level again, remember what I said about levels. If I need to wait for price, excuse me, I need to wait for price to come and break this level. This is where price is at this point in time. So I need to wait for it to come and break that and retest that level. Why? Because it's the lowest point it got to before. So I need to see price generally break that before I can say, okay, I'm ready to sell. So again, you can have a line there if you choose. You choose to have a line there, you know, because that's where you can say, some people might say, okay, you want to box price in. So it means you're anticipating these moves, either this or this. Yep, or you're anticipating this move. So these are the three possible moves that price can give you: this or this. Either way, you are in control of the market. Yep. Well, not in control of the market, but you know what you want to trade. You're not just gonna jump in. You know where you're gonna enter the sell. You know where you're gonna enter the buy. So this is where we're at now. So I would say wait for price to either come back to the top before you buy, because it needs to do this, retest that level. Excuse me, do that, retest that level, and then you buy your first TP. If it breaks and retest that second TP, yep, or you wait for that double, if it's going to be a double top, wait for that to happen. So your first TP will be this level. Forget about this level. Don't be afraid of these levels price, because they are not relevant, they are not significant. Yep. So your significant level will be this level. Okay, so that's for Euro NZD. So like I said, I'm just going to rush this through because I have a lot to cover tonight or today, depending on where you're watching this, or calling in from. NZD card. This was one of those pairs that we were really, really waiting for, and eventually played out the way we wanted it to. Let me see now. Let me see. Okay, so again, you pick it up from the top, pick it up from the bottom. This is where price is at. The highest point you got to, so you can pick it up from there. This is the lowest point you got to, so that's your area. That's another level, significant level. You know, another significant level, because this is where price is at this moment in time. Um, again, you can decide again to draw these lines the way you want to. They are not fixed. You can move them around again. So maybe like some people might say, this is too close. Again, you can decide not to put these lines there. You know, when you drop to your smaller time frame, to your weekly or your daily or then you can capture them like that. Because if I drop down now, you see that there will be gaps. You see how they kind of wide apart now. But on the monthly, they might seem cluttered. Yep. So you can decide not to draw them on the monthly. You can wait till you get down to the smaller time frame before you draw them. It really depends on how you. But the most important thing, have a wider picture of where price is at this moment. So this is where it is. So if I drop down, I can see now this is where I am. I know I was waiting for this to continue to the downside, to continue selling. Yes, it actually did that. So if I'm still going to sell this market, I'm not going to jump in at this point, because price has already told me where it is at. So now at this level, if I sell at this level, I'm doing myself a disservice, because I don't know what is possible. Price could well decide to do this, to bounce from here back up, because it's a key level. How do I know it's a key level? Price came to that level, bounce, came there, bounce, came there again. So it may well bounce again. So why do I want to sell this market at this point when it hasn't given me a reason to sell it? So the only reason why I would want to sell this market is if price, with that momentum, breaks this level, and then I see a retest into it, then I can decide to sell this market. Where would be my first TP? Yes, you guessed it, the first level I identified here. Yep. Now, there's a possibility for this to push up because of what I saw on this other side as well. You see, price broke out, came back into it, bounced, came back into it, bounced. So this may bounce. So I will be looking for opportunity to buy this market. And then because I was not in this market, I remember, guys, I know for some of you that know me, I don't really jump, I don't trade on market execution. I trade with limits. If you read the book or possibly watch the video I sent you about is it trading in the zone now? Let me see. Which one was it now? Where is it, library? Um, where are you? Where are you? That's a book that really, yeah, by the way, remember this one, Daniel Cole, Style and Code is a very good book for you guys. That's not just for trading, for anything you want to do in life at all. Style and Code is a very good book to, let me see. I had this book, Trading for a Living. Really, really is a video. Is a YouTube what's it called now? Audiobook. So if you want to really improve your trading as well, you need to also listen to this. It's long, so you have to listen to it. It's really, really good. So it tells you what the market is doing. It helps you to cater for slippages and all of that. So after reading this book, I stopped entering my most of my trades on market execution. Most of my trades, I do them on limits. So if you want to do that, you can pick up this book. You see a reason why I trade with limits and not on market execution. So for now, I'm not in this trade. As you can see, I can say, okay, I'm not here. I wouldn't want to jump in at this point. So I want to give myself a good place to enter. If I decide to buy this market, where will I be looking for my trade? I will be looking for my trade at the, like, look at this right now. This looks so clear. This looks like a double bottom, right? So if I want to trade this, where would be my entry level? Yes, for some of you that know double bottom and double bottoms and W's and everything, my trade will be at the break and close of this level. Break and retest of that level. This will be my trade to buy this back to where? That level. Why? Because you can already see consolidation happening here. Up, down, up, down. So my next level for trade would be that level. But that said, I will not have to, I won't really, I'll have to be careful not to just allow it to, because it may just get to that level because of these things. Remember this one turned before they even got to the top. So if I enter this trade, I'm going to bring my stop loss in to protect it just in case it goes in and then it decides to return without getting to the top, decides to do that. Yep. So but generally I expect this price to get to that level. So once I go in, I would protect the profit and watch the market how it goes. So if I decide to buy this market, this is where I'll be entering my trade at. I won't just jump in at this level. Some people can. Yep. Some people can just decide, okay, because it's so close to this level, I can still enter. But it means you also have to ensure that you have your stop loss in place, just in case price decides not to do this, but decides to do this. Yep. So remember, I gave you two case scenarios because it is at this level, we're still expecting this to keep selling. So it may just break down, but our trade we won't start selling at this point. We'll start selling at this point, at the break of that level and retest of that level. This is our sell. Yep. And then we can, so excuse me, and then we can bring it down. So right now, wait for trade this price to break. If it's gonna keep going down, wait for it to break. And then if it's not gonna keep going down, then wait for your it to break this level. This is your buy zone, you know. And if you want to buy at this point, stop loss in place so that your TP will be here. First TP, if it breaks that, second TP. The reason why I'm considering this as a TP is because of what happened here. So that's why you have to constantly be looking at the market. You can't just have a fixed mindset. You have to constantly be looking at the market. I'm deciding to consider this. Why? Because I can see that price decided to have reactions here. When it pushed away from here, it started to have reaction. It didn't go all the way to the top before continuing. So it started having reactions. So I could say that, okay, there's a possibility that price may get there as well and have a reaction instead of pushing all the way to the top, like it did in the past. So, all right. But again, I'm going to keep sending these charts out as they update, as they happen, so that we can see what is happening in the market. Let me see if somebody asked a question. I think I saw this thing. I saw a message here. Let me see. Okay, which one? Inverted head and shoulder, or which one is that? And this one? Let me see on the. You mean this one? Okay, yeah. Okay, you mean on this one? Well, I wouldn't call this an inverted head and shoulder. You know what? Because it's risky. Well, let me see. You know why? Because remember that impulse. That when we looked at I can't remember which day we looked at it. Remember one of the things I talked about in inverted head and shoulder is that it must have an impulse like this. Then what's it called now? A pullback, a head, another pullback. Then, but this one clearly you can't say it's an inverted head and shoulder because you have an impulse, but the impulse is so small, and then the head. Then if this is an inverted head and shoulder, then it means that, okay, we can say that this is the level, this is the measurement for your TP for me, I know that some inverted head and shoulder, some inverted head and shoulders don't some of them don't really um play out like that the way it's supposed to be. Like this could be naturally be your TP, but you can see it's ridiculous because if this is your TP, because that's your TP is normally your head measurements of your neckline and your head. So if your TP passes, I mean, goes even beyond your what's it called now, your impulse, then it means it is not valid. Generally speaking, but some people can still say, okay, this may be an inverted head and shoulder. Yes, they can still say that there's no crime, you know. Yeah, so you can this can generally still go up, and then you can call that, okay, my inverted head and shoulder played out. Yeah, they can do that. But if you want to look at it, the general rule of inverted head and shoulder, this isn't. It's not. The impulse is not strong enough to be called that. It should at least be coming from say it should be longer than that anyway, because it has a very long head, generally speaking. If you want to do it theoretically, you're looking at the general rules of inverted head and shoulder. It should be longer than this, so that because you need the TP, the target, to be the neckline and the head distance. Yep. So that's the general rule of it. So for me, I would only operate, take inverted head and shoulder if they obeyed these rules. Yeah, some inverted head and shoulder, some people may see this, okay, say, okay, I'm going to look at this as my inverted head and shoulder, that's my neck, and then that's my second, and then some people may decide to do that. So, but again, you can decide to do it the way you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. It is your money that you're going to be using to trade anyway. And so whatever rules works for you is absolutely fine. For me, I could decide I could only see inverted head and shoulder when I see that general move. You know that some people can actually see this at the inverted head and shoulder. Yep. But again, there's no impulse. The impulse doesn't come all the way from down here. Because if that happened like that, then I would have seen this as an inverted head and shoulder. Because if you notice, this actually played out like an inverted head and shoulder. Yep, but it doesn't obey my rules, so I will not trade it. This is some of the things that helps you to avoid entering the wrong trades. You know, entering the trade that does not play out. I mean, that will not play out, because sometimes it may work, sometimes it doesn't work. But if you want to increase your chances of winning it, just make sure you pick up the ones that would obey your rules. Yep. Okay, let's see that. Okay, great, 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 great. So, yep. Um, yeah, we looked at that. So we're saying now that possible double bottom. Yep, possible double bottom here. We can see a trade at this level, and then if this doesn't double bottom doesn't play out, then this is where we're looking for a trade at. This is where we're looking for a trade at. And if we take our trade from here, massive win, guys, massive win. We're still continuing. Remember, we where did I mark that? I hope I can remember that trend line that I did for this. Okay, I think this was it. If this was it, I'm probably going to look at my other charts and see where I marked that trend line. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, I think this is it. So that was what I think I did. Yeah. So waiting for price to now come, because the next place I would be expecting this price to come to would be all the way down here. All the way down here. So possibly coming to touch that trend line down here. Yep. So that's another strategy. So, but my one right now is to look at this one, what price is doing at this level. This is it. So you can even look at this on the 4-hour time frame and say, okay, it's forming a bearish flag. Yep. Just for it to break down and continue to the downside. Yeah. Again, wait for price to do its thing. If it's going to come down, then wait for it to break that level. If you want to sell this, wait for it to break. But if it's going to go up, you have to do that again. So you can do that or do this. So a break of that level could be your trade, or a break of this level could be your trade. Excuse me, will be your trade, and that your general TP will be at this level. Again, one other thing I also wanted to point out is that one of the reasons why you identify these levels on the higher time frame is so that you don't get out of the market prematurely. Because if you can see it on the higher time frame, if you can see it on the daily, you know where price is going to. So why would you want to, maybe for instance, you were here, you know, you were possibly at this level, maybe even at the 15 minutes time frame, let's just say, for instance, why would you want to say, okay, I think price is going to stop moving? Where is it? Maybe you saw this now. Excuse me. Let's just say you picked this up. You were at this level, and then you saw this move, and you say, okay, price is going, and you say, okay, I think it's going to stop moving. It's going to stop moving at this level. I'm just going to get out and secure the bag. That's where you only saw it too. Yep. But because you didn't look at it from the higher time frame. But if you looked at it from the higher time frame, let me use this because the other one will clean off. So you got your trade at this level. You know, you in your mind you feel okay, I think it's gonna stop moving. But if you looked at it on the higher time frame, you have you have a possibility of this continuing to this level, even to this level. But because you were on the 15 minutes, you only saw this level, and then you would have missed all of this. Will have missed all of this. 200 plus pips. You only possibly only picked about, let's say you entered at this level, about 80 pips. Get what I mean? So that's why you look at charts on the higher time frame so that you can see a bigger picture where of the possible levels price can get to. So I believe that this price can get all the way to the top before continuing to the downside. Yep. So this may just be an entry point. Your exit point may just be an entry point for some other traders. Yep. So always put that at the back of your mind, when drawing out your charts. So that's NZD card. Euro Chef. I know for some of you know that I've been in this trade for like forever. Been in this trade. I think I kind of caught it at this level. I think I caught it at this level. So price has come down. So although I've moved my stop loss in, so I would protect what I already have. Now let me see. Oh, I need to bring this out. Yeah, entered at this level. Or was it at this level now? So price has already come back. I should have just secured the buy, but I'm just sometimes I go be that greedy. But anyway, so this is where we are. Let's identify the levels. I can mark this if I choose to, but I don't really need it. It's too far away from where price is. So, but my key levels to mark would be these levels that I can clearly see. I clearly see this level. Clearly see this level. Could maybe mark this one as well. Let me mark this one as well. And clearly see this level. Let's see that, mark them. Then this level, you can see how sweet this one is because price just came back. Price broke out, came back into that level. See, and what did you see? A bounce. Very beautiful trade there. For some, if you saw it early enough, look at this again. Price broke that. I know some people remember this trade from way back. Price came all the way, broke that level, and what did you see? Price has come back into it. So I think should have been, I think I must have missed this. I should have secured the bag at this point because this was the level that price broke and came back into. I should have secured the bag. I must have missed this. So this is a good place. So for me now, okay, this may be if prices has to break that level. The next level may just be, maybe here. Let me look at here first before all of that. Yep. So if you want to trade this one, okay, let's just drop down to the smaller time frame, see where we're at. Right now, I think that price, let me see again. So if price, look at what's happening right now. Price may actually continue to come to the downside because it's gotten to a key level here. It got to a key level. The key level it broke out of Remember all of that break and retest. So it's broken out of that level. It's come to retest it. Give a beautiful engulfing candle with a pullback, and then what did you see? Continue to the downside. So price may well continue to the downside, but who knows? It may just push up first of all before doing that. I've missed that out, so I'll probably look for another opportunity. So I can put my sell limit at this level again and wait for it, because it could come back into it and give us a double top, one top, double top before continuing to the downside. Yep. But I think the upside may have finished happening, meaning that price may not necessarily break above this to continue up, but you never can tell. So right now I should be looking for opportunity to sell, to keep selling. So I can look for a sell at this level. My sell would be possibly when price comes back down here. But so I can't sell at this point. A break of the previous level, price may come back into it and break, and I continue to the downside. Or I can look for one big sell at this level, put my buy limit, sell limit at this level where price, came into. So waiting for price to come there, and then so now that's for the sell arm of it. Now to buy, if you want to take advantage of the buys, let me draw lines here to help us as well. Look at that. So this level, for some of us, if you remember this chart, I looked at this head and shoulder from way back, as I was really expecting this head and shoulder to play out. Price did that, came back into it. I caught this move to the downside. Yeah. So I was expecting this to continue, but price kind of started if this is the one I'm talking, I don't think this is the one. Yeah, this is possibly not the one I was looking for. Let me look at my chart again. Hold on. Let me confirm that. See how what we have done already, guys. 6,700 charts on this platform. 6,700. Guys, we have done so much. So well done. Kudos to every one of us. Okay. Let me see if I can see it on the higher time frame. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think this is just okay. This was the daily. This is where I entered from. Yeah. I can see it now. This is where I took that trade from. Took that one, entered one here as well, and then I should have at least just gotten out, but I refused. So okay. So again, remember, I think this is it. So this is it, the daily. Yeah, this was it. So I remember looking at this chart. I would probably have to look for it. That move, inverted head and shoulder. Sorry, the head and shoulder. If I was to be a poor trader, I would have said, okay, because I entered and then price came down, I would have stayed in and waited, and at the end of the probably would have lost this trade altogether, because I entered, price broke, came back into it, I took my trade. But what happened? I saw price come all the way back, but I'd already moved my stop loss in when I got that move. I already moved my stop loss in, so when price came back, it pushed me out of the market, so I did not lose this trade. Now, someone that would say, okay, this is a head and shoulder, it's going to play out. I know it's going to play out. It's going to wait forever, because this didn't play out immediately. You see what happened? Price started doing this. It didn't continue to the downside. So that's why you should always bring your stop loss in them, even though you see this as a head and it may still be valid because it hasn't failed yet. It hasn't failed yet. It hasn't broken above the left shoulder, so it's still a valid one. But this, you have not been kept in the market, kept trapped in the market. When price came into it, it gave what it needs to give, and then you took what you needed to take, and then you got out. I started looking for better other opportunities. So I saw that head and shoulder, I posted it. Price came in, gave us the head and shoulder, played out at it didn't. It just fell short. It didn't continue to the downside like we could. This was our TP. Yep, but that didn't happen. And then we looked for another opportunity, which was this one that we traded. Now it's happening again. Price is going up and down. I missed it. Should have secured the bag at this level. That's why I should always keep my eye on the ball from the higher time frame. Because if I kept my eye on this, I probably would have taken my money out of the market. I wouldn't have had to give it back like this. But right now, it's all good. What are we looking for now? Let's look for how we can take another trade. Let me bring this down to the smaller time frame. So I can look for another trade at this level. Let price come back into it. If sell limit, sell limit at this level. Price come back into it. Give me my sell. Yep. Then if I want to sell also at this level, wait for price to break that level, come into it, and then I can look for my sell. For my TP again, will not be this one, will not be here. It will be down here. Why? Because on the higher time frame, I saw that was a key level. Okay, I need to bring that out. Okay, close that. Sorry, just need to get this out of my screen. Okay, so at my higher level time frame, I saw that as my key level. So my first TP, if this continues to the downside, will be this level. I wouldn't even think twice about it. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't move my stop loss in if I'm in profit. So if this continues to the downside, this is where you should be looking at. It's a massive long way to fall. So, but your entry will be at this level to sell this. Wait for that to happen, then you can sell it down to that level, or put your sell limit at this level to wait for price to come back into it, take you into the trade, and then a better trade to risk to reward ratio. But if this thing continues to the upside and it decides to keep buying, then you already know this is your trade right here. This is your trade right here. Where are you? You have to wait for that to happen. This is your trade. Your trade is that level. Previous high, it needs to break the previous high, come back into it. Your buying is at this level. You can buy it to the upside. Where would be your TP? Let's see if we can find it. TP, so clear. First TP. That will be your general first TP. Enter, retest, and that's your first TP. And if it breaks that as well, then you know that, excuse me, that's going to be the level that you're going to. So this might be a good trade for us to look at this week as well. Give good massive winning earlier. So look for your trade at this level. Put a sell limit at this level as well. But make sure you have a stop loss. Always have a stop loss in your trades. Never enter a trade without a stop loss. Bad trade trade strategy if you trade without a stop loss. So if price comes back into it, then you can look for your sell from that level. If price breaks this level, then you can look for your sell at that level to bring it down to this level. Should I advise you to buy at this level? You can decide to buy at this level. There's no like I said again, it's your money. You also want to take the risk. Some people say that we say scared money is not does not make money. Some people can decide to do that, but if you decide to buy at this level, also ensure you have your stop loss in place. Again, I don't catch a falling knife. I let it come to key levels before I decide to do something with it. So if you want to buy at this level, just know that you're protected. So because it's quite risky as well. Yeah, but I would say because this looks like a double top, let price come back into that level, break that, or at least come back into this level if you feel it's gonna push up before you look for, because that will offer you a good risk to reward. Your stop loss will probably be at this level, then you can buy at this level. Yep, because if you buy at this level, this is what you're doing. This is your stop loss. Your stop loss will be here. So all of this is a risk. Then this is your reward. Whereas if you buy at this level, look at your risk. This will be your risk. This will be your reward. So which is better place to buy, this level than this level? Yep. But anyway, I'm not looking to buy this market anymore. I'm really looking to look for another sell for it to continue to the downside. I'll be looking for that, or I'll be looking for it to come into that level. But if it breaks that level, then I will start looking for my buys to the upside. So that's Eurochef. Again, I'm gonna send charts to the platform so that we can all follow. I know this is gonna be a long one, but anyway, if you guys are tired, you can always drop off and then catch the recording. Catch the recording later. Take this out of the way. So next one, Eurocard by Gray. Again, see where price is at. See where price has been. And see where price is going to. So this is where the lowest point of price, levels to identify, maybe here as well. It's quite interesting to market chart is quite an interesting thing. I call it an art because you tend to look at the levels, you tend to see how they play out. Let me what is possible. So now Eurocard, I'm not sure I'm going to be taking this trade because I can see a lot of indecision happening all over the place, weeks happening all over the place. So, but then again, so if you want to trade this one right here, it looks like let me see if I want to catch this too. I can decide to just pull all of that, box all of them all up. That's my tummy. I need to eat. So I can wait for price to come back into that, or I can do this. I forgot to use trend lines. I've not used trend lines to show analysis since. Okay, sorry about that. I should use trend lines as well. So I could decide to do that as well. Wait for price to break all of that. Okay, one more thing. I can also do that as well. So yeah, some people can see that as well as a strategy. Some people use trend lines exclusively. There's no crime in that as well. So that could be a trade analysis that you want to use. Put that in, or even decide to capture that, but that would be too much. Let me take that one out. Okay. So now that could be your trade. Your trade could be the break of that, possible break of that, and then some pullback, and then you TP at that level, or the break of that, then pull back your TP at that level. Right now, that can happen, then price continues down, or that can happen, then it comes back to continue to the upside. But this is where this one is at the moment. Yep, it's forming that triangle is coming in. So, or you can even see something like this. This may just continue like that, till it gets to this level, and then it has nowhere else to go. Then it busts out to the upside, or busts out to the downside. So those are the possible scenarios for this Eurocard at this point in time. So right now, even though you drop down to your smaller time frame, you're still gonna see them in that triangle anyway. Even though you drop down here, you're still gonna see it all in that triangle. Yep. So a greater level up in a greater probability trade would be to wait for it to break out of these trend lines. Let it break out of those trend lines so you can ensure that you have a good trade. But I'm not really going to look at this as a trade for me to take this week. It doesn't look so good to me. Again, which is one more thing, to always know when to walk away from trade. You have a lot of pair combinations to trade. You don't have to, you know, if you don't find anything, maybe that is your favorite pair. If you don't find anything to trade for that day or even that week, it's okay to just let it go and wait till something comes out. You don't have to trade every day. Most important thing is to protect your capital. Don't just jump into the trade. Yep. So that's I'm looking at a Euro Aussie now. Level, level, level. Well, because I've been doing this since, so I'm going to do that again. Keep doing that. The highest point, so it's not really necessary because it's too quite far away. Oh, okay. I may pick this as well because it's a level that has been touched too. You see some charts I didn't pick them, but some I do. Again, it's it's revolving. If it comes, price may come into it and then react. I'm going to look at them as well. I'm not just going to do this and then forget about it. I'm going to keep looking at the charts and keep studying as it happens, you know. So right now, price came there, rejected, came there again. So expecting that rejection to happen and then price to continue to the downside because of that, you know, can see that move. So possibly this may just do this, you know, because of what happened here, that move down, that move. So this may still also be going down, you know, possibly keep doing that, you know. But again, we have a good, we've kept price in a good place. Our trade is between this level and that level. Remember the rule: buy low, sell high. So right now, if price right now it's already left this bus stop or junction, whatever. So I can't jump in. I have to wait to get a good place to enter. So my good place to enter would possibly be to drop down to my smaller time frame and look for opportunities. Let me see what I can find. Okay, this is where I am at. Can capture this line. Yep, can capture that line. Let me see what else. Mm, okay, possibly capture this line because why am I capturing it? Because of that level, this level here. So I capture it because of that level. You can see the reaction, 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 reaction. So right now, price has come down. So I'm waiting right now for two things. Can wait for price to come back into this level, and then I can sell back down, or wait for price to break below that to come back into it, then I can sell down to this level. That would be my sell. Then if it breaks that, then I can sell down to that level. But to look for buy from where it is at the moment, let me see. I would have to drop down because there's nothing on the weekly that says I should buy. So let's see if I can drop, or if I create a trend line. Let's see, create a trend line here. Then I can possibly see something to buy. A break above out of that trend line would mean buy. So right now, this is what price is doing. Let me bring that in. Bring that in. So I can so yeah, drop that down. Okay, that should be fine. Anything else? Okay, so I think it's fine like that. I'm just gonna leave that. So now, what am I waiting for now? I'm waiting for price to break that. Let me wait for price to break out of that clearly. Good impulse to the upside and possible that then I can take it to that level. Then from that level, I start looking for another sell down here. Yep. Why? Because of what I saw on the higher time frame. So, but at this level, there's a rejection happening here, but I can't just jump in to start selling this. I have to see some reason, possibly engulfing candle. That may be that may be an engulfing candle. So maybe a pullback into that, and then I can sell back to the downside. Yep. So why? Because as a trend line, price comes in, rejects, comes in, reject, comes in, rejects. But if that, remember, even though I take this as a seller, I have to still put a stop loss up here, just in case this doesn't play out, but this place decides to do that, so it can kick me out. So it does. I don't lose all my money. So, but the best place to look for to buy this market would be if price comes back down here. That's the best place for you to buy this market. Yep. So wait for price to come into this level and then you can buy it back to the top, you know. So for you to sell this, to buy this again, if it breaks out of this, would be for you to wait for price to break out of that, possible coming back into it again. So that's another way. Possible come back into it, and then you can take it to the upside. So two scenarios now. Price breaks, good impulse, pulls back, and then you can look for buy, some another pullback, and then buy to that level, or you wait for price to break that upside. This is naturally the way I would rather trade this. So price will break the previous high, come back into it, and then I will take my buy to the upside. Yep. So that's my Aussie, Euro Aussie. Um, try and see what more I can do. USD card. Let's see. USD card. Hold on, please. Okay. Yep. Euro card. Sorry, USD card. Level, level, level. Let's see. Level. Okay. Level. USD card has been a very major um pair that we have been looking at for the past few months now. Paid well, also caused us to lose money at some point because it refused to play out sometimes. So that's where it is at the moment. Get that in. That's where it is at the moment. Now, what will I be looking for right now? Because it came into that level, saw that rejection yourself, guys. You saw that it came down and then it's pushing up again. So I would rather wait for it to come back into a good level. Let me see. Let me hold down this trend line so that I can, let me hold that trend line in, because that would give me a good place to look for price to come back into. So keep that trend line in. So now I won't ignore if price comes back into that level. I won't ignore it. I have to keep watching that level. So right now, for me to trade this, price needs to come back. I need to see price at a good place. I need to see price come back into, if I'm not in this yet. So let price come back into that level, key level, beautiful level to look for a trade. So I can sell it back down here. Yep, can sell it back down there. But let's see if we can find something to sell at this point. Let me drop down again. Nothing beautiful. Nothing beautiful. Let's see if I can draw this. Okay. Nah. No, I'm not gonna force it. So I'm gonna ignore this. So let it come. Let it come back up, because I consider this a consolidation. So I'm gonna let this come back up, come back to this point, and then I can look for my trade at this level, key level. Otherwise, if I want to drop down even further, then I can say, okay, if I draw this out, then possibly draw this out, or maybe this one instead. But that will be too. This is what happens when you're trying to force it just to get something out of it. So if you want to do that, then I will consider this as the level, and then let this break that level. Then and only then would I be looking for trade. But then just know that if that happens, then it means your TP. You have to use this as your TP level first, because that's the area where price had reactions. So you don't want to ignore that. So again, do that. Then you can start possibly look for another trade to the upside because of that, these things that you've been seeing. So, but what also can happen is for price to come back into it and then bounce. Yep. So You just have to be careful, but there's no clear indication for me to sell this or buy this. I would rather look for a selling opportunity if price comes back into this level. As well, be looking to sell that market back to the downside, or if this comes down into this level and retest that level, at least I can see that it will clearly break out of that. You see all of that weak. Yeah, it came back, it came into it, bounce, came back into it, bounce, came into it, bounce, came back into it, bounce. So all of that, I need to see that breakout. I need to see clear breakout of that, retest that, and then take it back down here, which may be in tandem with that line. I could decide to do it like that. Yep. So that may be my TP. Yep. So, but again, don't force it. Wait till it gets to a key level, because at this level right now, there's no clear indication. This is a clear place. This is a clear place. This is a clear place. But this middle point here is not really clear. You don't have to force it. You don't have to force it. So ignore that one. So AUD USD, trade to look at, trade to look at. Again, identify the low, identify the high. Just where price is at. I don't need all of that, but I'm just gonna draw them out. Levels. That level, identify that because price that did that, came back into that, and then did this as well. But to be more certain, I would rather make that as a level as opposed to a line, so it can capture this as well. Yep. Yeah, so good. So right now, okay, let me capture the top sides. Forgot about those ones. Do that. Do that. Okay. So that's that. So right now, what am I looking for? I'm actually waiting for this too, because price came back down. So I'm waiting for price to push to the upside. Let me see. Drop this to the smaller time frame, so and just push that. So if you want to as well, you can yeah, we can capture this as well, because this was a key zone. Yeah, price had reactions around here. So key zones to look for buys. So for me, I'm more biased towards the upside for this trade. More biased towards the upside for this trade. Market is open now. So what am I going to be looking at? That has happened because price came into it bounce, I'm looking for this to bounce. Yep. It's been struggling. So maybe before that, I'm going to have to draw a trend line down here. Why am I using that trend line? Because you can see from history, anytime price got into that, it broke, got into that, broke, got into that, broke. So if I'm entering my trade at this level, I'm telling myself that I'm buying at this level, then it means I have to be wary of that level. I have to TP at that level, because for all I care, I mean, for all price can do, price can just continue doing that, and then possibly now break and then go down, or break and then go up. So for now, I would be careful to look at this as my TP, not just because this, if you guys followed us, you see that this thing really played on our intelligence a lot, this AUD USD, because we were expecting, you saw that move, that this saw that move, for some of us saw that move. We saw that happen and we saw that breakout. So we expecting this to continue to the upside. But what happened? Price went and then broke down, came all the way down. If you remember that trade. Yep. So we're still holding on to it. And then when it started moving up, we held it again, and it got to that level and then broke down again. So yes, it's fine. So we're not gonna allow it to do that again. We're just gonna take a trade, and then when it gets to that level, we TP and wait for it to come down again. Then we can take it again, till it's tired. And then when it breaks out of that consolidation or whatever triangle that is creating for itself, then we can better look for the bigger moves. So this one I'll be looking for sell down here if that level is broken. Yep. But for now, I'm more biased towards the upside to buy this, you know, that this is this it opened at this point. So it may just well come back into it and continue. But then this doesn't give me a reason to buy this market, to sell this market. Doesn't give me this breakout, sorry, this opening gap doesn't give me a reason to sell this market. I have to see good um paintings. They need to paint enough, because this can just do that, like I said, or do it can it's possible for it to just do that as well and then continue. But need to get good data for me to be able to decide whether to buy or sell this. So let this just play out itself. Yeah, but your TP will be at that level if it continues to the upside. And then if it does to downside, you already know where you're going to that level. Yep. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I can look at more before I call it a night, but let me see a few more before I go. Um, okay. Which one is this one? That's pound Swiss franc. Pound Swiss franc. Again, same principle, same principle. High, low. I know that for some of us, if you again, the more you do this, the more it becomes part of you. So just keep marking your charts, keep marking them. The more you mark them, the more they become part of you. But when you get used to marking, that it becomes second nature to just look at the charts and know where it's going to. So that's okay. I actually expected this to be a head and shoulder for some of you that I just came back and saw that move to the upside. I was wow, I was surprised. So I expected that to be head and shoulder, but that head and shoulder did not play out. You see, so you see sometimes you can see a move like that and say, okay, it's gonna be a head and shoulder. Look at that. This was so clear. Was so clear. You know, So we expected that to happen, and then what happened? That so you see, even your key head and shoulder moves, they sometimes fail. Now imagine they not looking like a head and shoulder, a real head and shoulder. So that's why you have to filter them. You don't take every one of them that appears to be head and shoulder as head and shoulder. You need to filter them all out and have a rule for trading them. Look at that clear neckline, and clear what's it called now? Another head, another shoulder, and then what happened? Price pushed above that, broke that. So I wouldn't, for right now, although it hasn't broken the neckline, which is normally the rule. But if I'd entered this trade, I probably would have lost it because my stop loss would have been here. Yep. If I'd entered early, my stop loss would have been there. Then that would have pushed me out. But if you wanted to trade this in normal way, if you wanted to, if you're following the rules, then you shouldn't have been in this market. You should have been in this market at this point. This is where you should enter the market at the break of that neckline, not at this level. Sometimes we want to enter early so that we can catch all of that from here. I know sometimes we try to do that, but yes, you have to pay the price if it doesn't work out, you know. So, but your main place to trade this would be the break of that, excuse me, break of that neckline. So this is your business right here. You wait for that to happen, and then you can trade that. Anything that happens between here, terms and condition does not cover you. Yep. But this is where you should look for your trade, the break of that neckline and retest of that neckline. So any other thing here is just trying to get an early entry. Sometimes you win it, sometimes you don't. Yep. So I right now I'm not in this anymore. I think I entered and I got kicked out. So that's that one. So for now, what are we waiting for? Let me see again the higher time frame. So this is where we're at now. So we could put a line here as well. Then we can, yeah, because this is it. The previous high. previous high reaction. So wait for that to happen, break above, and then you can easily take your trade to TP at that level. Easily take your trade to TP at that level. If again, remember, if that excuse me now, let me take this. These things are blocking my way. Let's drop down to the smaller time frame. If that if there's a rejection at this level, it looks strong. I strongly doubt there will be a rejection. But if there it does happen, then look for some form of bearish engulfing candle at this level, just to give you that to confirm that that will be a double top, so that you can sell it back. A bearish engulfing candle, yep. Then pull back, and then you can sell it back down. Where would be your TP down here? And then if that breaks, then you can now start looking for your confirming your inverted, your head and shoulder to take it down to that level. So again, to sell this market, wait for this to come into that level, give you at least give you a bearish engulfing, a strong bearish engulfing candle, and then possibly wait for a pullback so that you can take it down where TP. And then when it breaks that level, you can take it down to that level. But if this is going to continue to the upside, of course, you have to wait for it to break that level break it strongly, then we come back into it. Then you can take it to the upside. Let me do that so I can bring it down. So again, see, you can see it clearly, guys. So wait for that move, retest that level. That's if we are trying to buy this market. So that would be our TP. All right. Okay, that's also bear in mind, put it at the back of your mind, we still have Brexit talks going on, so anything can happen with the pound. Anything can happen with the pound. So the next one now, I think the final one for tonight. I actually wanted to look at oil as well, but let's see. Gold. Let's see my gray. Mark it up from the top. Okay, two levels here. I can do that, but it's too far away anyway, so I don't really need all of this. But I'm still gonna mark it anyway. So this is clear levels here. Yep, clear level here. Level. This is quite close, but I'm still gonna mark it. It's gold. Okay, let's drop down to smaller time frame. So what have we? Okay, this is where we're at for gold. So what are we looking for now? Let me mark this, put this. I think for gold, I can put lines there as much as I can. So I can take advantage so it doesn't, okay, so what do we have? What do we have? Okay, one could say that this is impulse. Where's my, this one could say this is an impulse, excuse me. Impulse pullback for continuation. Yep, one could say that. Let me use this chart. So that impulse, that pullback, and then expecting it to push to the upside. Yep. So right now, my trade for this gold, let me see if I drop down. So you could decide to put that in a channel. Let me see if I use a channel, if I can. So you can decide to put this in a channel. Change the color of that. So let's see, we channel this. Yeah. Mm. Okay, possibly. Yeah, but I don't like it. I'm gonna delete that. So instead of that, let me create trend line instead where gold is at. So better. And then I can do that. So that may be I think they call it symmetric triangle. So yeah, maybe a symmetric triangle. So now for me, I would need to see if it plays out like that. So I need to see gold break out of that. Then possible break out of that, then some form of pullback, and then I can trade to that level, or first of all to this level. Excuse me, let me use that instead to straighten my line, my hands. So yep, and because gold is volatile, so you don't want to just um leave it in the market and then let it forget about it. Sometimes you need to keep watching it. Mm, okay, so that may be the TP, and then if it pushes up a bit, so that we'll look at that. That's if I'm trying to buy that, but if I'm trying to sell that, then I have to wait for this to break out of here altogether, not just this one, because this level is too close. So I'd rather wait for it to break out of that altogether than retest that level. Then I can now sell to that point. Yep. Again, if you want to be very conservative, then wait for gold to break out of that altogether into that key level that we identified on the higher time frame. Then you can look to buy from that level. Yep, that will be your buying zone. Then you continue to the upside. Let's see. Let's see what it is. Yep. So excuse me. But that's really a very key level. So I would say that doubts gold is going to break that level anytime soon. So you also have to be careful. So price may come into that level, then you can now look for. I will possibly look for a sell than looking for it to break above to continue to the upside. I wouldn't be really expecting that to happen because I will be breaking all of this, you know. So, but I will possibly be looking for a sell at this level when price gold comes back into that level on 365. So I'll be possibly be looking for a sell back down, you know. So right now, but I can't trade at this level. It's in the middle of two levels. I can't trade at this level. I'm gonna let this pass, you know. Or like we said earlier, if you want to buy when it breaks out of this, that's also okay. But make sure you get some form of pullback, and then you can buy to that level, this level or that level, but make sure you also have a stop loss in place. Yep. Okay, that's good. But again, I would send charts out to us if we are trading gold, but I don't think I'm gonna be trading gold. But oil. And also some of you already know my bias on oil, where we started from and where we're heading to right now. Okay, let me see. First of all, let me identify the levels. Okay, there's not much data on this particular broker for oil. So that's what we have. That's what we have. That, let me put that in. That information. I did say that I was seeing oil get to 60, 66 now, thereabout, and that's exactly what happened. So right now, this is where we're at. Okay, let me drop down now and see. I remember saying, guys, that we saw that invert that head and shoulder for some of us that was we're trading this with me. We saw that head and shoulder. Where did we see it from anyway? We saw it come all the way down, and we saw that happen, and we saw his head and shoulder also happen at this point. And yes, as we can see, it's actually playing out like we thought it would. That head and shoulder, head and shoulder, and then see price is already playing out. So if you're not in it yet, where you'll be looking for your trade would be, because that has already begun, you cannot take it at this point because it's already begun the move. You might have to wait for it to possibly break this level. See, this may be, what's it called now? It's maybe a flag. It's maybe a flag happening. You see that impulse? That. So you may need to wait for that move to happen, this to break, coming back into it and then to continue to the downside if this is going to continue moving down. So you need to wait for that move to happen, and then you can continue selling to the downside. But I'm very much biased about gold continuing to the downside because I expected that head and shoulder to happen. And as you can see, it's playing out now. Much more biased, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna leave it all in the market and let it, but I'm gonna protect it. So right now, if price comes back up here, gives you a good opportunity to sell again. It's a good opportunity to sell again down. So I know that is what we should be praying for. So some of us that didn't enter from the beginning, so you should be looking for a trade back to the top. So you probably possibly just put a buy limit, a sell limit at that level, wait for it. So if it doesn't come back into it, it's all good, Or you can say that this is an inverted head and shoulder, then decide to put an engulfing candle. But again, it's already happened because price came back into it, so it may possibly see a drop from that level, right? Or it's already dropped anyway. See that you see that move. You see that engulfing candle. Excuse me. Draw that. You see that engulfing candle. That one here. Yep. Normally, remember how we trade. When we see engulfing candle, we wait for price to come back into structure, that structure. That's exactly what has happened now. So price has come back into it and it's rejecting. So if I wouldn't really be I would rather put my sell limit at this level as opposed to anywhere here, or again wait for that to happen, wait for that break to occur, price to break that, come back into it, then I can start selling. There's still a long way to go down if price continues to the downside. So you still have opportunities down here. So, but this would be a better place to look for an entry in oil if you want to sell oil. Better place to look for an entry. The break of that downside, then you can take it to the continue to the downside or put a sell limit at this point, just in case something happens with oil and oil pushes back up, and then you can know that you have a good entry at that level, possible double top even as well. Okay, I think I'm going to draw the curtain at this level, at this point. Or can I look at Euro USD? Okay, let me look at Euro USD before we go. Yep, that I know for the whole world was waiting for this head and shoulder to play out, and I know the smart money, big money, they all know that as well. So they manipulated it as much as they could. See, some of us remember this head and shoulder that we were waiting for, yet it didn't play out as it ought to. They kept pushing it as they want to do that. Remember this head and shoulder. See what has been happening. See what they are doing. We waited and waited, and this is all they are giving us. But it's all good. We're trading with them as they trade. So yep. Let me draw this out first to have that level. Have that level. I think this is what I identified. Okay, leave that one. I'll use that. Let's use this one instead. Okay, so this is where price is at now on Euro USD. What if I use this as well? Yeah, that's something else as well. Trend lines are also really, they are also a form of support and resistance as well. Just to kind of also give you levels that where price can get to, especially with trades like pairs like Euro USD that's easily manipulated. You want to see how you can better take the opportunity. Now, at this level, if you entered from here, you're still good to continue to the upside, although it's gotten hit there and dropped, you know. But if you hadn't entered this yet, I would say wait for price to come back either to that point to the downside before you can buy again to the upside, or because you, although we know that this is a downtrend, this is gonna, the downtrend is the down is definitely gonna happen, but it's not gonna be give it to us easily. You know, we know that it's gonna come down because of that head and shoulder, you know, but so you need to clearly see that break before you can, you know, decide to start selling down to the downside. Yeah. So, but where would be a best place to get a good entry would be possibly at these tops, you know, these top levels, you know, possibly at this top levels, price comes back to this level, then excuse me, let me blow that up. The price comes back to that level, good place to look for another entry, you know, maybe at these levels. Yeah. But right now, I don't know. I don't think I'm really looking for anything with Euro USD. I don't think I'm gonna look for anything unless price comes back into here. Then I can be looking to buy this again from this level. So my buy limit would be at this level. Yeah, so let me buy at this point instead, and then it offers me a good risk to reward. I wouldn't buy at this point because it's too high up there. Or if price comes back into that level, because it's so unclear. Yep. I would only take a trade when price comes back down to structure. I know I mentioned or took a trade here at this point for some of us that followed me, or took a trade here and then price got up. Fantastic move, winning trade on that one. And I'm gonna wait for price to either come down here again, then I can take it back to that. Sorry, take it back to that level, or take it back to that level. You know, or possibly wait for price to come back up here. But I'm definitely gonna put a sell limit at this level, which is the neckline of that head and shoulder. I'm possibly gonna definitely gonna have a sell limit here, no matter, even though it doesn't come back to you, just to be on the safe side, because sometimes maybe sleeping and then that happens. Sell limit with stop loss. That something may happen that pushes price up to the upside. Um, I did remember looking at the dollar index as well to be able to guide us. Let me see if I can find the dollar index on this one, the XY, which would be this one, because this also is an indicator. They work in opposites. So let's see that same thing as well. So for this one, I'm just gonna capture the where price is at. Um, so as you can see, it's a mirror of excuse me, it's a mirror reflection of the Euro USD. If you're watching Euro USD, you could be watching the dollar index as well. See, direct mirror of this trade. See, and see it. So you could be watching that as well. My key level, guys, is for me. Again, for me, this is my key level. Just like as you have seen it here, would be your key level would be this one. Same thing here. Key level will be space. So if you're not already in this, then you might need to let it go. Let it come go for now. Let me take this out so I can clearly see that. Okay. Okay. So let it go. Let price come either to the trend line here before you can look for another sell to the downside, but that will be scalping anyway. Look for another trade to the downside or the bigger one here. Yep. Or just wait till it gets to this point. Yeah, because it's already made the move. There's no, it's all, it's not clear. You can see the fact that I even have two trend lines here just shows that it's so much uncertainty. So you can actually wait, either wait for price to do that punch to the upside, or you can do this, just wait for price to break that previous high. But then again, you stand the chance of you may risk um losing this trade because it can turn at this level. You may not get to that level, it can turn at this level, which is this is what I mean. Price can continue down, do this, then retest, and then come in and then turn at this level. That's too close, you know. So I would say instead of forcing it, if you didn't enter at this point, then let it play out. It may just get here. For some of us that entered here, it may just get here and then return down again. It may not get all the way to this level. So it's choppy. So you can just wait for it to come back down, then for a better entry. That's all I'm trying to say. Let it come back down for a better entry. There's really nothing to, because sea levels they are not consistent. See, they are not consistent. Not consistent. Yep. So okay, I'm gonna draw the curtain on this one, on this um session for now. I know it's already possibly 2 hours. Who knows? But yep, if you can watch everything, please do. If you can't, just watch the first few minutes and then another time watch the next few minutes, another time. Just do as much as you can throughout the week. And then if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And also draw up your charts as well and see if you see what I see. If you can confirm my trade, if not, then just drop it on the timeline. I mean the platform so that I can see what you see. Remember, there's no one that has a crystal ball that knows what the market is going to do. Nobody does that. Nobody knows what the market is going to do altogether. We are all going to be just what's it called now? We're going to draw our charts and expect these moves to happen. We can't make the market do what the market's going to do. We can only anticipate and say, okay, this is what I think is going to happen. Even the pro traders, they don't have that. Nobody does, except they have insider information on what price is going to do. But the rest of us retail traders, we can do our technical analysis, use the fundamentals as well. Just to see if we can predict the market, but nobody can accurately predict what the price is going to do. We're just going to let price play out as it will. And then the only thing we have control over, is what we trade in the market, what amount we enter the market with, where we place our stop loss. That's the only thing we can control. But then the rest, we can't control them. Yep. So, anyways, I'm going to draw the curtain at this point, and I would take questions for those of us that are on the platforms. But if we don't have platform, if we don't have any questions, I would see us on the other side. Have a fantastic trading week. Thank you.